And welcome to Community Focus here on Central Kentucky TV. Glad you could join us this evening. I'm Kenny Fogle, and hopefully we'll be able to entertain, educate, and inform you a little bit tonight. Got with me today Joe Masterson. Joe's one of my colleagues up at the American Post, Old Kentucky-owned Post of American Legion here in Bardstown, Post 121. And Joe, first of all, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Kenny.
I appreciate you being here.
Yes,
of course, you're a long-time resident of Bardstown and Nelson County. I mean, New Hope, I think I read your book, A History of New Hope.
Right,
A lot of people don't know there's a history of New Hope,
Absolutely.
but we'll talk about that sometime. Maybe we'll come in and talk about
that'd be
that.
good,
That'd be good. I think a lot of people like. But today we're going to talk a little bit about another job you have, and that's the service officer up at the Post 121. And I'll let you explain, what is a service officer? What's a service officer
Kenny,
do?
we just try to help veterans and their families when they're in need, try to get them into the health care system if they qualify, and follow up and see that they get the services,
There's a lot of services available to vets that probably a lot of vets don't know about.
Right, if you're on the ground in Vietnam, you're guaranteed health care at the VA hospital now. That's a new rule. So if you was on the ground, or you was on a ship, or you was in the air over Vietnam, they assume that you was exposed to Agent Orange now. After about 30 years, they decided that it really happened,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that Agent Orange apparently was something that was a defoliant back in Vietnam, and most people didn't realize the danger of it, but it's caused a lot of trouble over the past 30, 40, 50 years.
That's correct. I have a nephew that was born with one kidney, and now he's got cancer, and his dad is the one that he got it from.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, there's a lot of things. Now, service related, I guess that's the big key word that the VA is looking for when you're going for any kind of disability benefits.
Right. In other words, if you have bad hearing or something like that, which a lot of them do, that was in Vietnam, or a lot of our elderly vets they're needing hearing aids now, myself included. And so that's one of the main things right now is the hearing. But now, if you were in Vietnam and they'll give you 10% disability for hearing.
Yeah.
But now you have to be stone cold deaf, 55% or more, to draw more than that.
Yeah.
But they do take good care of the veterans down there at the Veterans Hospital. It's packed.
Yeah.
But my personal opinion is I've been in there since 1987 or 88, and I'm extremely pleased with the veterans care that I've received at the Veterans Hospital in Louisville. And one of my associates who's taken my place, John Eddie Benet, Bennett's his name, I call him Benet. He's studying right now to take my place next year because I want to be finance officer at the American Legion Post.
Okay, so
But I'd rather be just a common Joe, but somebody's got to do it. So Bill Blandford, I'll never be able to follow up on him, but I'm going to do it. And I work well with Russ Marlowe here in Bardstown. Russ is excellent.
Well, everybody knows Russ.
And Sam Smith's been a great help to me. He was our service officer down there for several years. But no, it's good. And anybody that is currently in the service, they automatically have 5 years of health care at the VA hospital now. If they need it, Anybody getting in and out of the hospital.
No, I did not know that.
Right. So all you guys that was in Afghanistan and Iraq and places like that, they have 5 years of health care service if they want it.
Well, like I said, that's the reason we got you in here today, is to find out about these benefits. And a lot of people that just simply don't know about, because I'll be honest with you, the VA doesn't do a real great job publicize these benefits. And I guess that's why they have people like service officers at the American Legion to do that.
Right.
Now, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, I know you have regular office hours one day a week, don't you?
Well, we run from 10 to 12 on Fridays, but I go in there 2 or 3 days a week. Like some days I'll get 6 people in, and I'll set them up for the next week, and we'll start, and we'll go in. Take an hour private, where we can get things done properly. And I don't know all the answers, but I do know a guy that does, Randy Fisher. He works out of Lexington and Louisville, and I call him, and he steers me in the right direction to help the
a lot of times that's what it takes, is just like somebody to point you in the right direction and get you to the answers.
And basically a widow now, she doesn't have much luck, a Korean widow. If she draws $1,100 a month from Social Security, she pretty much has no benefits.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
Yeah. So.
But most of our claims right now are coming from Vietnam and some World War II and Korean, and then we also, like I say, the hearing is a big thing. And then, of course, if you have type 2 diabetes, that qualifies you for a basic pension.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, sleep apnea.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of people that's on for diabetes, for breathing and things like that. That's caused from service related, and
Yeah.
that's a criteria for some disability payment.
And most people, obviously, and I mean myself included, I'm not good about. I didn't save all my medical records from back when I was in the active duty, so it'd be hard sometimes to tie in exactly what's related, service related, and what's not.
Well,
Sometimes.
it's pretty easy to get your service records. We can get them out of Frankfurt overnight by fax.
Uh-huh.
If you were Kentucky and went in here and discharged here, if you're not, we have to go to St. Louis for the records, and they're a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I went online just to get mine to see how long it would take. It's taken me 4 months.
Oh yeah.
I just want to get my DD 214 to see how long it would take. So
Yeah.
I sent them a follow-up message. I started December the 4th and sent a follow-up message yesterday. They said I would get mine by the 17th of May.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
progress.
there are people out there that we have contacts. If it's an emergency, we can get them. And of course, we have people with if you die and you're a veteran, you can get a stone,
Yeah.
up to $300, and the VA pays for that. Of course, up here you do that through basically if you do that through your people that you get buried by, and they can get it set for you and all that. I had one set for a guy that it was free, but it cost me $100 to get it set.
Yeah.
But he was a World War II veteran. I want to make sure he got a stone.
And another thing too is I know I've heard people talk about it, is they don't always get all the ribbons or awards they should have been rewarded years ago.
Right.
And then go back to the Legion and make the contacts to maybe even
That
find
is
out where
correct.
they are.
I'm working on one right now that was killed over in Belgium. They don't know where he's buried, but I'm getting his records so we can get his medals. And I understand Congressman, what's his name, out of Western Kentucky?
Brett Guthrie.
Brett Guthrie. I understand that he'll even pay for the medals.
Oh,
So we're going to get his records and
well, good.
take care of him. It's Mr. Wimsit's his name.
Okay. And you're located up on West Broadway at the
206
Legion.
West Broadway. Our phone number is 502-348-2208. And like I say, we work with the regional office out of Louisville. And John Eddy, he was up in Lexington last week taking training under one of our men. And he said while he was there for 4 hours, there was over 100 veterans come in to check their claims and file a claim.
Well, I know something else you got on there that we didn't hear about 10, 15 years ago is a post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Yeah,
That's something, I'm not saying it's new because it's probably been around since the first war back over in Greece. But
PTSD, it's, considering, even rape's considered PTSD. That's one of the criteria.
So,
And then you have people that they just can't sleep. They have sleep apnea and things of that nature, and they're nervous, and that's all under PTSD. And they saw their buddies get killed, mangled.
but their first step is to get somebody to help them, point them in the right direction. Like I noticed, you got some connections with the VA hospital, and point them in the right direction. And veterans,
Right.
I know you talk about the Veterans Crisis Line. I mean, there's veterans out there right now that, I hate to say it, but we've got a high rate of suicide, not only in active duty, but they're veterans, and there's a reason for that because sometimes they feel like there's just simply nowhere to turn.
I had one of those situations happen to me last year. I was up in Lexington, and a distant relative of mine, we were going to go pick him up, and I'm sorry the day before I didn't call him, ask him to go to the races with us.
Yeah,
But they went over to his house and he committed suicide. Young man, great future,
yeah.
was in Iraq, Afghanistan, and it was very sad, very sad.
Well, that's another reason, and I'll go into that not just for service officers, but being a part of the American Legion or any veterans organization, because there's other people out there going through the same thing that you're going through. Right. And I know the American Legion here, I've been an active part of it for many, many years. Meet once a month just to get together for dinner, and if nothing else, just to talk over war stories. But at least there's other people out there that's been through what you've been through.
Right, and they don't have to be a member for me to help them.
Well, that was my next question. I was going to ask you, do they need to be an American Legion member?
As long as they're, a veteran, we'll be glad to help them. Our veteran's wife or whatever, anything we can help them with. But there's a lot of things. But I recommend they either go online, file their claim, or come to us, because if you walk down to the VA hospital, you may have to wait 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
On your first trip, And the main thing you have to have is you have to have if you're doing medical, if you haven't been to VA, you have to have your medical records from your doctor.
Yeah.
And you have to have your DD 214.
Yeah. That's the magic. That's
Now,
the magic form.
The elder folks that was in before 1951, they don't have a DD 214.
Uh-huh.
They just have medical records.
Okay.
But they still have a record on them, but they're not called DD 214s.
Now, I know you take your show on the road every now and then. I know you do go down to New Haven every now and
Yeah,
then.
Tessie Cecil has asked us to come down there. She does a great job.
Yeah.
She's got a new setup down there. I know you've seen it.
I've been to the museum down there, yes.
See, what do I call it? I call it the Veterans Hall History Museum.
Uh-huh.
Old Dr. Khan's office.
Right.
And we go down there once a month. And John Eddy and myself will be going down there once a month on the second Tuesday of the month. And we had 5 people we talked to yesterday.
Well, like I said, people don't realize that because, you know, they don't realize how many people, you stay busy. I mean, you may talk to 6 people just a few days ago, 5 people yesterday, so it's not like you're just sitting up there waiting for somebody to show up.
Yeah, Bob likes me to advertise, but I told him I don't need to right now.
You don't need to advertise right now, but we are. We're going to advertise anyway.
We do welcome the veterans, and we want to help them. And of course, we got 167, we got Post 42, and they all, you know.
I think what 280 something or 288 over in Bloomfield, I believe it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
so we have Tom Justice, you know, that's out
Right.
to the Armory
right,
on a Tuesday, and Tom had my job before
right.
I took it, but he does a good job out there. And then we have, I guess, Sidney Schaus is out to the Post 167.
So most American Legions have they're supposed to have a service officer, and most of them are trained.
Yeah, we try to get trained. Of course, we missed some good training in January when the big snow fell.
Yeah.
Sammy Smith and I were going down to Louisville, but that 24 to 30 inches of snow kept
That
us
slows
home.
you down a little. You don't go by dog sled, do you?
Yeah, but now there's if you, like I said before, if you were on the ground or a boot on the ground in Vietnam, you're guaranteed health care at the VA hospital. But
Well,
regardless if you're a millionaire or worth 15 cents, they have to take care of you on health care.
I understand. Well, again, you know, there's a lot of veterans out there that may have some questions, and that's it. You may qualify, you may not qualify, but it's better to know, and that's why you have people like Joe Masterson available to you. And Joe, again, one more time, where are you located, and how can somebody get a hold of you?
We're at 206 West Broadway, Bardstown, Kentucky, and you can get a hold of us at 502-348-2208, or you can call my cell, 502-460-4687, here in Bardstown. And I remember Mr. Robley Rex, he was 107. That's through the VA.
I remember they named it after him, and I saw his picture in the paper, but I never had the honor to meet him.
I met him many a time down there at the hospital. He was 107 when he died. And
Yeah.
he was a volunteer at the VA hospital, and they named it after him.
And I'm going to echo what you're saying. The VA gets a lot of criticism across the country, but I've dealt with the VA a few times myself, and it's always been a great experience.
Well,
I think they do a good job.
I can't say anything bad about the VA. I think that this new programs they've got online now are just excellent. You
Yeah.
know, if you have any problems, you can go online. They'll tell you exactly what to do. I mean, it's to me, it's 100% better than it used to be.
All right, well, veterans, Shontak Joe, or somebody at your American Legion. If you don't belong to American Legion, we certainly invite you to join. But again, as he mentioned, you do not have to be a Legion member to access the services of a service officer.
Right, and you can also go online to myhealth.vet, and you can actually sign up and get all your current medical records, all your prescriptions, anything you want to do. You just push it online, you can download your personal information, and it's really good.
All right, well, Joe, I'll tell you what, we're going to get you back in there in the next few weeks. We'll talk about the history of New Hope, and I think a lot of people might be interested in that as well.
I'll be glad to.
All right, well, thank you for being here. Appreciate
you
it.
all.
Joe Masterson here with American Legion Post 121. So hope you've enjoyed it a little bit or learned a little bit today. And again, veterans, we're doing our best to get the word out. So if you need help, give Joe or somebody in your Legion a call. Take care. We'll be right back here on Community Focus, Central Kentucky TV.